Dearly beloved, we have gathered here today to get through this thing called Mix CD. My name is Mike, part of the SPDM crew, and I love making Mix CDs. Each week, we give our guests a theme and an 80-minute time limit for which songs they're going to pick for their Mix CD. This week, we are going to be talking about sad girl songs. So, this is our sad girl playlist, and I have with me fellow SPDM crew podcast member, the Wasteland reviewer himself, Shane Conto. Shane, how's it going?
Doing fine, aggressively masculine. So this is probably a surprise to people.
Uh,
Um,
Surprise, yes. So why don't we just start there? Shane, what's up with this list? Why on earth did you pick this?
it's 2026.
Mhm.
The world is not a great vibe. And I figured this was a nice way to, embody that vibe for sure. And honestly, when I was driving and listening to this, made me sad. So there we go. It
Yeah,
did its
that
job.
good call with that. 2026 is definitely a vibe, and it has definitely been interesting. Only
Really a bad vibe.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's only been 2 months into the year, and it's yeah, I thought very
God, it's
hard
almost
about
March already.
awesome. Uh I thought long and hard about what is what's the stuff that I want to convey on this playlist. I don't know. Eventually I kind of just threw it out the window and I was like, I just want some of like the best singers out there and seeing what's the saddest song that they have. And
There you go.
that was kind of my process through this. What about you? Were you looking for anything in particular? Did you steer clear of anything?
Well, there's definitely one artist that 100% influenced this whole entire list. So I included three songs from them.
Mhm.
But we'll get to that in a minute. And honestly, trying to find a nice mixture of heavy, moody music and then a nice dash of melancholy
Hmm.
and anything that my wife listens to that's a sad girl song. So it's a nice mixture of that.
I did consult with my sister. I was like, "Hey, is this a sad enough song?" And she there was a couple that she was like, "No, no, and no." And then I went back to the drawing board with some of those artists. I was like, "Yeah, okay, I'm happier with that answer." So this was trickier than I thought. Did you arrange this in any particular order, or did you have any other major rules?
I feel like the playlist goes from heavy and moody to melancholy by the end.
Hmm.
So it's kind of just like shifting from we're going to start at heavy and then get much more soulful, sad singing and piano notes.
Hmm.
Because there's definitely like at least six songs that are soulful, sad singing and piano notes.
Yeah. I had a couple of those as well. I tried to stick with one artist per, even though there's a couple that I'll probably talk about because I have a feeling we have some overlap here because I'm not saying that it's a specific genre because it's definitely not because all kind like I have everything from pop to R&B to alternative to everything in between. So this is a pretty wide open scope for something like this, but I don't know, like I know like I listened to this, I QA'd it and I was like, wow, this definitely puts you in a mood. And one thing that I know I was cognizant of is that I don't want all of these to be about breakups or like love songs or anything like that. So I tried to be aware of that because it's the same thing when I did another playlist kind of similar to this and I was like I don't want these all to be just like sad breakup songs.
Mhm.
I did that a couple weeks ago, but but further back I was like no, I like if I want to do sad songs I got to vary it up because it can't just be about love because there's plenty of other things to be sad about. And I think I semi stuck to the spirit of that notion, but I can't deny that a fair amount of these do have to do with breakups and
Well,
requited
they do
love.
make you sad
That is accurate. That is
generally,
so
unless it was a good one and it needed to end.
true. How many songs did you end up with on your list?
One, two, six, 9, 12, 15, 19.
Okay, I ended up with 20. So why don't we do groups of four for these? So as the guest, why don't you go first with your first four and kind of why you decided to include them?
Well, let's start heavy. So this is the sad goth girl section of the playlist. We're starting with 3 songs from Evanescence.
Naturally.
Um which is My Immortal to
That
start because you got to start real sad.
mhm.
So, that song just elicits a feeling. And honestly, it makes me think of Daredevil. And honestly, that movie makes me
Yeah.
um I love Evanescence, and I've
Mhm.
been listening to Evanescence for a long time, but Amy Lee was like the poster child for sad goth girls.
Mhm. It's
So
true. It's
you
true.
got My Immortal, something a little bit more angsty, Bring Me to Life.
Naturally.
So rile you up a little bit. And then Lithium, kind of smoothing that out a little bit more heavy melancholy.
Mhm.
So nice trio of Evanescence songs. Could I have made this whole entire playlist Evanescence?
You could
Could
have.
have,
You definitely could have.
could have.
Because
And
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, I'm like, I could have easily filled that up with sad songs.
Hmm.
Um, and then the last one for this quartet is Lacuna Coil's Heaven's a Lie.
Mm,
And this one's just like this heavy, heavy feeling coming down on you. And, just imagining your whole entire worldview is a lie, that's a vibe.
that
And that
is
vibe fits this vibe. So I'm like, this one's gonna go on there.
that's definitely a vibe. I will give you that. My Immortal is my first song on my list as well. Question for you: did you do the piano version or did you do the full band rock version?
I did the regular version, but
Yes.
if you wanted to get extra sad girl, literally just Amy Lee and piano.
Yep.
There you go.
That's all you need. I picked that and I specifically picked the version that we're talking about because, yes, it reminds me of that scene in Daredevil, which, yeah, that hit pretty good. But also, My Immortal is like the everybody hurts of like female ballad anthems when it comes to like love and like unrequited love. So like it had to be on my list. It had to be number one on my list because like as soon as you proposed this topic, I think both you and I instantly were like Evanescence. It's got to be Evanescence. My number two is my Britney Spears song, and I picked
Nice.
Every Time by Britney Spears. This is the one where her and like the music video, her and Steven Dorff are like a couple. They're fighting, and
Oh
she
my God.
and she
Steven Dorff.
Steven fucking Dorff. Uh, and not only were they fighting, she made it seem like she was like going to commit suicide in the bath, and that was weird for a music video. But this is also piano. It's there's something about the piano in this, and the refrain for it is every time I try, I fall without my wings or some shit like that. But it's sad, especially for a Britney Spears song who she's used to just putting out things that make you dance. And this is one where it's like, oh, okay. This is a metaphor for lots of stuff. Okay. Well, I told you that I wasn't gonna do too many like breakup songs, but I
Mhm.
had to put Don't Speak by Gwen Stefani or by No Doubt rather. I tried specifically to if I was going to include like a band on here that the lead singer had to be a woman and she had to be predominant or like the entire vocal because
Yep.
with Evanescence I almost picked the song Broken because Amy Lee sang that with Seether and that's a sad fucking song too but not to the extent because Seether is the primary artist for that. Amy Lee is
Mm.
just the just backup or the featured artist on that. So I picked "Don't Speak," and then it's my Kelly Clarkson song, "Because of You." Another just there's a version of this that like it's all in piano. Like there's something about the piano on this list that's like, whoa, okay, this definitely does
Sad,
it.
melancholic vocals with a piano,
Mhm.
his piano notes.
Yeah.
It hits a feeling, Mike.
But this version in particular, this one is all piano because there's another version that is a little bit more up tempo and rocky,
Mm.
but it starts with the piano. But I was like, no, 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 I can't have that for this version. So I stuck with that.
Not gonna lie, that's also on my list. I was imagining, like, if I can imagine a young woman driving their car, crying, singing this song through their tears. Yep,
Mhm.
that's going on the list.
I
And
I I have a very specific story about that with one of the artists lower on my list. So
there you go.
I'll get to that in a second. So your next four.
Well, in my next batch, I do have Don't Speak by No Doubt. And I could just like, you could just imagine that in your head, just
Mhm.
trying to belt this out through your tears driving. I have What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish.
That was on my original draft until I'll get to that when my
Yep.
Billie Eilish song comes up.
So outside of Bad Guy, like everything else just seems like very moody or just like sing whispering into the
Yeah,
microphone.
yeah,
And
accurate.
like I just imagine Margot Robbie, tear going down her face, and Barbie at the end. I'm just like, sad girl song.
Damn that.
I have These Days by Nico.
Mm,
So this one's a little quirkier and a little bit more like offbeat from
mhm,
most of these songs on here. But like I feel like if you can make it into a Wes Anderson soundtrack like Royal Tenenbaums, it's just hipster and melancholic enough to, fit the vibe of this.
mhm.
So what I should have done, because when I was playing this playlist, Jess was like, "Oh, is this a song where he's like slits his wrists in the World Tenenbaums?" Like, no, but that definitely would have been a sad voice for
That
sure.
for
But no,
sure.
this is the song where Margot's like getting off the bus and it's just like this close up of her and everything. It just has a vibe.
Hmm.
And I did want to get just a little bit angstier again before we completely moved away from that. So I put Zombie by the Cranberries.
That's a great
Which
pick.
it's so funny because I don't remember the last time I listened to this version. Not gonna lie, I would listen to the what was it, Bad Wolves
Hmm.
cover that
Oh,
was on, which like I'm like, they just took the song and made it heavy. And then I re-listened to the Cranberries version. I'm like, this is kind of heavy to me. It just doesn't have like "Brave
hmm.
zombie." Um, but no, this just like the whole vocals of it are slightly off and strange with
Hmm.
their singer, and this just has this angsty feel to it. The world is just like, what's going on anymore? It's
Yeah.
just certainly a vibe and a mood.
Hmm.
So that one definitely felt fitting to add on here.
Hmm.
And that was four, right?
Uh,
Yep.
okay.
Your move.
My move. So Evanescence was like the first artist that I thought of, but the next one I thought of was Tori Amos. And I tried to think, what's the saddest Tori Amos song that I could think of? And I got a headache just looking through and listening to some of those songs, not because they're bad, because there's a lot of heavy shit in Tori
Yeah.
Amos songs. But I eventually settled on a sort of fairy tale for that one because it's the most recognizable. And I'm not gonna lie, after like 3 days of listening to Tori Amos, eventually I was like, I think I'm gonna stop. I think I'm good. So I ended up picking that. My next song is Landslide. I feel like Landslide should be on a list like this, no matter what. I wanted to pick the Fleetwood Mac version, but to change it up a little bit, get a group in there and get like a country song in here, I picked the one by the Chicks because I'm not gonna lie, this may be stupid, but we're friends. I can admit this to you. I heard the Chicks one first. So I was like, oh, wow, this is a really good song. And then someone was like, that's a cover. I'm like, bullshit. And then I heard it. I was like, yeah, that's a cover. My bad. So,
Sure is.
yeah. So that song just gets me each time that I listen to it. And it doesn't matter the context that sometimes it's in. Like they've played it on episodes of South Park and it's still like really sad. They did a Glee did a cover of this song too and it was like, man,
Everybody has done a cover of Landslide.
it's true.
It
But
feels like it.
it's because it's just one of those timeless sad songs or it's
Mhm.
sad sounding songs rather. So, my next one is Unbreak My Heart by Tony Braxton because just remember my mom loved this song and not because she was like super upset about what happened between her and my dad, but she just liked Tony Braxton and can't deny that Tony Braxton's got pipes and this this is just this is a sad song. It
Yep.
just it is. And then in that same vein, Janet Jackson, a song called Again, piano, another piano song. Like you brought it up,
The
and now it's like,
saddest.
nah. Well, is it? Yeah, probably. It's got to be. So yeah, that's my next four.
So the most consistent name that I came up when consulting women in my life about a sad girl playlist was Lana Del Rey. So I have Summertime Sadness.
That was on my original cut, and then that was one that my sister was like, it's I think maybe I picked like a remix version that sounded a little poppier, but she was like, nah, get it out of here. I'm like, okay,
Well,
fine.
this is one of the basic picks because
Mhm.
it's this definitely popped up on a lot of sad girl playlists that I around
Also consulted.
doing some research.
Mhm.
So and sadness is right in the name. It's not summertime at the moment. No, it's
It's
19 inches of snow sadness. It's more like the shining sadness and madness. Um now I did also have landslide, but there's no way in hell I wasn't picking the Fleetwood Mac version. Um, this is just like one of the sad songs.
Mhm.
And when you make a whole entire album just about all the breakups going on in your band and you have to sing it all with each other, that's next level pettiness. And
Right.
it's just watching some of the performances live of Fleetwood Mac and the disdain, landslides there. We
Mhm.
got Skinny Love by Bon Iver was another popular one that popped up on these. And I had to, I had to get some Adele on here and someone like you,
Mhm.
like when her voice is getting to that point where it's like almost cracking and it's getting that really high pitch, just there's pain there.
Mhm.
And Adele doesn't need anything else. She just can sing the shit out of a song. So there you go. Also, I think the other saddest instrument are violins.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Depending on the context, like I think those guys playing the violin when the Titanic is going down, it's like what a what a way to just indicate that everything's going to shit. So, yeah,
That's some sad boy music.
I mean, I feel like we're gonna get a volume like 1.5 where we do our sad boy list, where REM's Everybody Hurts will be at the top of both of our lists.
It's like angsty boy list. And it's just like there's a whole bunch of Ramstein.
Oh,
It's just like I'm in a mood. I
I
want something. I want something German.
have an Adele song as well. It's coming a little bit later,
Yep.
but picking the Adele song was tricky, but I have a very specific reason for mine. So, if we were to ever do a sad boy list, All by Myself by Eric Carmen would probably be on the list.
He's a sad boy.
He is a sad boy, but Celine Dion did a version of that, so I picked that.
Nice.
Celine Dion doesn't do a whole lot of sad songs. She does hopeful song. Well, I guess My Heart Will Go On. Like I think it's masquerading as a bit of a love song in like a sad.
There's a lot of emotion.
Yeah, emotion.
There's a lot of emotion there.
Not positive or negative emotion. It's just emotion. But I picked All by Myself, even though the first time I heard that version of All by Myself was in the movie Clueless. I was like, what is
Well,
this doing here?
Mike, are you pouring this Canadian version out for Canada, who are all probably having some sad moments right now after, both their hockey teams lost?
To the same team that has to the country that's been antagonizing them for the last year or so. Yeah,
Mike, are we
that's
the villains in this?
oh yeah, we are absolutely the villains in this.
Are we Iceland from the Two Mighty Ducks?
I mean, one could argue that we were worse than Iceland because at least we're not talking about making the US like Iceland West. So,
But anyway, back on the playlist.
my next song, the song Time After Time it's not like a really sad song, but if you find the right version, it can hit you pretty hard. And there's an episode of Smallville that plays this song in the first season. Lana's boyfriend, like grandma or family member passes away, and or somebody passes away in the first season, and they played this during the funeral. And now that I think about it, keyboard, piano, just
There
again,
you go.
just it's a thing.
What's the theme song for Smallville?
Remy Zeros, Save Me,
Sad Boy
Somebody's.
playlist.
Oh yeah, that's definitely Sad Boy playlist.
Yep.
My next one, I felt like this was an appropriate song to put on this list, and that's Sober by Demi Lovato, because she, you read up on the story behind it, and she wrote the song and she sang it uh after she had relapsed onto drugs. So I felt like that was a very appropriate one to put on this list. And then kind of in this like in a similar vein, I picked Kesha and the song Praying, which she, talks about her sexual assault
Yeah,
in that. So, two heavier ones, but I felt were appropriate for this list.
absolutely. So I got So Far Away by Carole King.
Mm,
That singer-songwriter vibe,
mhm.
just there's a lot of emotion there. A couple of ones that I definitely got from doing some research for Sad Girl playlist. We got White Flag by Dido.
I was very close to picking a Dido song, but I
Yep.
just it didn't make the cut.
And Fade Into You by Maisie Starr.
Mm, mm.
That was one that came up a lot. Now, to wrap up this quartet, it is the saddest song ever because they put it in commercials about sad animals and make you guilt you into picked Angel by Sarah McLachlan.
That was originally on my list, and I took it
It's like the
off.
saddest song,
It is the saddest song,
especially
especially
in context
in
in pop
context. Yes,
culture.
I have a different Sarah McLachlan song on
Oh,
here. Um,
interesting.
uh, it is, and honestly, an argument could be made that it is not like completely on par with Angel. Like nothing will ever be.
So I'm being a basic bitch over here, and you're looking at some other alternative picks.
No, no. You're picking the guaranteed, like that might be the saddest song ever created.
Like, why am I driving around from after a long day of work listening to this sad girl playlist? It's like, what mood do I want to be in? Definitely not this one, but I did it anyway. So there you go.
Got to do what we got
What's
to
your
do.
next one?
My next one, this is my Adele song, and it's Make You Feel My Love. And the reason why is because Leah Michelle just belted this out during Glee, like during the Corey Monteith tribute episode. In reality,
Well,
I
there's
should have
some
just,
context there for sure.
yeah, in reality, I should have just picked that version instead. But I also like this is still a sad song, so I should still honor the original for something like this, as I pick the Chicks version of Landslide instead. So I'm a hypocrite. That's great. So my next one is Tate McRae. You broke me first. Just sure, yeah.
Yep.
The next one, it's this is my Billie Eilish song, and it's called The 30th. And the reason why I picked it, it is Billie Eilish is talking about how she, like a friend of hers or someone that she was really close to, got into a car accident and almost died. So the context of the song itself is sad. What makes it even sadder is that my fucking 8-year-old daughter has chosen that song to sing around the house to learn more about breath control for singing. It's fucking great. It just love it. It's been a solid 2 weeks of that.
Oh my,
It's awesome. Kids are great.
sounds like a fun time.
Eventually, like when I like actually listen to the lyrics, I'm like, do you understand what you're singing about? And she's like,
Nope.
no. And then we looked up the lyrics and she was like, like, yeah, you can keep singing it, but I think it's important that you know what's going on. Um, and then my final one in this group, kind of in that same vein, Avril Lavigne. You know, Avril Lavigne's got a couple sad
Yeah.
ones. So I picked Keep Holding On for me because that one's pretty sad. But also I did want to give a nod and a shout out to When You're Gone by Avril Lavigne. Because the first job that I had out of college, I was a sales rep. That was back in the day when you actually had to go into the office for sales jobs. And one of my coworkers had recently broken up with his girlfriend. He was really sad about it, but
Was he a skater boy?
he was not a skater boy. He did not say see you later, boy. But he was scrolling through old pictures, looking really sad, and on his
Hmm.
iPhone, it said "When You're Gone," and it was on repeat. It's like, buddy,
Dude, come
buddy,
on.
no, 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 no,
You're
no.
not doing yourself any favors.
Especially at work, because like, no, just no. So I felt really bad for him. So
Man.
in respect for him, I picked Keep Holding On instead, which not as sad, but at least a lateral for Avril,
So
Avril Lavigne.
lovely segue into I'm With You by Avril Lavigne because I had Avril Lavigne on here too. Come on, it's like I grew up in this
This
period
is
in time. It's like,
this is
I
the
was a
time.
kid through the 90s and then into the early aughts. I was getting into preteen and teenage years.
Hmm.
So yes, there's some Avril Lavigne on here. Breathe 2 a.m. by Anna Nalick.
Yep. Ac-
Emotional singing and piano
yep.
yet
I
again,
I I know exactly what you're saying. So
yet
good pick.
again.
Hmm.
And my last song is Scarborough Fair by Simon and Garfunkel. Because if you want melancholy, you play Simon and Garfunkel.
Goddamn cheater. Um, but fair,
So
accurate. Okay.
my wife probably listens to like 5 artists total. Simon and Garfunkel is one of them.
Hmm.
And even like their more upbeat songs still sound melancholic.
Hmm.
It's just like they think it's their angelic voices.
Hmm.
And there's just something that feels very ethereal about it. And I figured this would be a very interesting way to wrap up my playlist.
Good call. All right. My next song is Joe D. Messina, Bring on the Rain. Kind of in that same vein with the piano, acoustic guitar also is a pretty sad instrument when it wants to be. So
Yep.
uh so that one hits with this. I picked Unfaithful by Rihanna. I almost had actually a double dose of songs called Take a Bow. Uh, but I picked Unfaithful instead because it's sadder, uh, which leads into the other Madonna. Madonna had a song called Take a Bow. It's really sad. The music video kind of ripped my heart out. There's no sadder song out there for Madonna than This Used to Be My Playground from A League of Their Own. Right? So that one, it's it gets me every time I watch that damn movie. And then to wrap up, this is my Sarah McLachlan song. And I picked When She Loved Me from it because I felt like Angel.
Imagine ending this playlist with that.
Oh my God.
It's just like you're gonna be sad forever.
Yeah. Those commercials are just, they're brutal. to
They
watch
are a terroristic threat upon humanity.
for
I'm like,
sure.
this is like chemical warfare
Right.
on people. It's just like, what are you doing to people?
We had a discussion about this, me and Nick, when we recorded our Pixar episode recently, and we had a conversation about which song's sadder, When She Loved Me or Angel. The obvious answer is Angel, but the only reason why I picked When She Loved Me, time. That's it, because Angel, that's a long song. That's a long time to be sad as well. So
It takes its time bring up
lets
that
it
sadness.
lets it stew for a little
Yep.
while. It's like you're going to be sad and you're going to like it. Like, okay,
And you're gonna
thank
go
you.
adopt some animals.
Some, not one, like several.
Some.
So, well, that is our list. Last question before I get you out of here with this. Shane, if your sad girl playlist was an actual album, what would be the album cover?
It's a perpendicular camera shot into the driver's seat of a Honda Civic. And it's a young woman crying, mascara coming down, and her just belting out a song.
Hmm.
And you're just imagining it could be any one of these. But most likely, definitely no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm envisioning in my head.
Cool. That's a good call. I would have someone sketch out that memory of that guy who was listening to Avril Lavigne, sketch out that moment because it doesn't help that he was like slumped over on his desk, hand or like head in his hand, pretty sure cried a little bit. Yeah, just I think I
That's just
probably
self-torture,
I probably
self-mutilation.
I probably would replace him with a girl for this because I felt like that would be more appropriate. But yeah, like that is the vision that I have in my head, and I will never, ever forget it, nor will I ever let him live it down because I'm sorry, I laughed a lot at his expense, but I also sympathize with him quite a bit as well. Because look, we've all been there. It sucks a lot, but gotta do what we gotta do to get through. And every breakup's got a phase where it's like, fuck off, just let me be sad. So, well, that is our sad girl playlist. I am now thinking about all of the sad boy songs that I could potentially choose from. So, definitely going to have you back for that one. But Shane, thanks for coming on and suggesting this unique list. So, I'm very much looking forward to listening to your list. Shane, do you have anything you want to plug, and where can the people find you?
Before shameless plugs, for the record, I'm not really that sad of a person,
No, you're not.
but we all have our moments.
Sometimes,
But
yeah, you're absolutely right. Sometimes you just need it, whether it's a quick 5 minute cry or you just need to be sad about something. Because look, if Inside Out taught us anything, is that sometimes you got to have sadness in order to find joy. So, yeah, thanks,
sometimes
thanks, Pixar.
there we go. But shameless plugs. So you could head over to the Wasteland Reviewer on Instagram where I shamelessly plug all the different things that I do. Do a lot of reels on there as well. You could head over to the Wasteland Reviewer YouTube channel where I review all types of films and have 3 weekly shows. I have my wastelandreviewer.blog where I do monthly articles and written reviews. Gotta write up my Scream 7 one after just watching that. Speaking of sad, um, and I write for Sif Pop, I write for Knock on Wood Film, and I have all of my lovely podcasts here on the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network. And I'm playing around more and more on Substack, so you can check that out. I sound cool by saying I have a Substack.
Whenever I think of the word cool, I do think of the word Substack, and that is not sarcastic or facetious at all. Because whenever someone says subscribe to my Substack, I'm like, yeah, I kind of do, because that takes a
Brought to you
lot of
by
commitment.
Substack. Give us money. We'd love to shamelessly plug.
Yes, indeed. So, Shane, thanks so much. Looking forward to the Sad Boy playlist and maybe, the Sad World playlist at some point where we combine the list and see which ones reign supreme.
Oh my.
Well, my friends, the time has come to end this episode of Mix CD. Be sure to like, rate, and subscribe to anything and everything SPDM Crew wherever you get your podcast. Join us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads, YouTube, and Blue Sky at SPDM Crew. Check out our website soon to be out at spdmcrew.com. You could follow our playlist on Spotify and Apple Music at Mike Hilty. Shout out to High Flyer Creative Studios for making our awesome logo. Greatly appreciate their support. And if you have any marketing, logo, or brand standard needs, contact them at highflyercreative.com. If you've got a podcast idea or you're interested in being part of the SPDM crew as a guest or collaborating, email us at spdmcrew@gmail.com. Until next time, no matter what happens now, you shouldn't be afraid because I know today has been the most perfect day I've ever seen.